Some bears do walk upright.
Well, I don't think bears run upright with great quickness and agility. That's something you don't see too often.
I've seen
Or
videos of bears sitting on the side of the road waving at people. Don't underestimate a bear.
There's a vast divide between waving and running at top speed, you know? I would know.
Would you?
I would know. In my heart of hearts, I'd be like, that's a Bigfoot right there.
Have you seen a bear out in the wild yet?
No, thankfully no.
Yeah,
but I've seen enough videos and photos and the whole like that I think I'd be able to identify one. No. Sorry. I know. You click the video because you're like, oh, finally proof of Bigfoot. What? But before you click away, just stick around. You're obviously into Bigfoot, right? You wouldn't click the video if you weren't. Makes sense. Christian and I are going to share a couple of pretty interesting Bigfoot stories. You enjoy the topic, stick around. Watch the video. What are you going to do? You're going to go click other clickbait titles and be like, oh, maybe they found proof of Bigfoot. They didn't. I promise you. Okay? We can believe and not have actual physical proof. It's fine. I mean, he might not, but outside of that, it's fine. Just stick around for the video, okay? It's going to be all right. You're going to be okay. After this is over, you can go back to your whatever the hell you were doing. That's cool. Welcome back. Got a couple of Bigfoot stories from you. We haven't actually touched on Bigfoot.
I've touched Bigfoot.
Okay, get taken into a weird spot already. No, as far as like bonus stories and videos and stuff like that on YouTube, I've noticed, and it's one of our favorite topics, so it's kind of weird that we haven't done anything, and that's what we're doing right now. And at some point, I'm trying to put together some creepy Bigfoot stories for a Sleep with Lights On episode, and I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but for the time being, you can enjoy these too. That sound good? That sound like a plan? You already clicked off, huh? You're not a big fan of clickbait. Hey, as far as paranormal podcasts go, we're probably the least clickbaity among them, okay? But that's going to change because we need the YouTube numbers to go up and our overlords to be happy.
We got to start using South American alien videos.
And we can do that. And it'll be fine. But beside the point, let's get into these Bigfoot stories before you get all pissy and start typing on your keyboards. This first one's called Down by the River.
Down by the river.
Exactly. And it's by The Real McDuck. Credible source, no doubt. So that was a long time ago. Well, a very long time ago. What is this, a Star Wars story?
In a galaxy far, far away.
Indeed. Very long time ago now, my friend Jason and I were prone to getting involved in many types of misadventures. And this one, while seemingly pointless at the start, proved to be one to remember. While I am uncertain over the name of the campsite in question, I do know that it was one my father and I had visited on many occasions. The site had plenty of parking for camping vehicles, a close-by restroom for people to relax and drop a few pounds in, okay. Nearby kiddie pond, stocked with smaller fish that couldn't escape. What, are they going to walk out?
Why would they want to escape?
They need the water, friend.
The story's already taking a turn.
It gets very strange, but we'll find out. And we're just waiting for their respective number to come up. And a nearby river with a boat rental place for people to troll the river or just fish leisurely. Surrounding all of this was open woodland, offering a tree-lined canopy over the camp parking and mountains around us. It was a lovely place to be and a welcome place for two young teens to adventure and explore. One particular night, after a lousy day of fishing, that had me slipping off the mud bank and into the kiddie pond, frightening all the fish.
I don't like the way he says kiddie pond. Can you just say pond?
I'll consider it.
We don't want to trigger any algorithm,
Like, what are they talking about in this video? And then we clickbait the algorithm. Welcome, algorithm, to the video. Now, give it to at least 10 more people. It's fine. It's fine. I'll bleep that. Algorithm, don't hurt us. And causing other campers to curse in anger, pull up their reels, and head back to the camping areas in defeat. Jason and I decided that hiding in the brush overlooking the river as darkness set in around us would offer a great opportunity to see the nightlife come alive. And it kind of did. We heard, rather than saw, bats overhead as they picked off insects over the open water. We saw raccoons heading up towards the sleeping camp area with the likely idea of going through trash. Can't read raccoons' mind, but okay, I'll allow it. There were even some deer that strolled through the dark, weary of anything out of the ordinary. Since I'd fallen into the pond...
Thank you.
Just pond. I guess I smelled okay to pass as non-threatening. Nice. As all this was happening, the familiar sounds of buzzing insects and chirping crickets berated our ears, reminding us of just where we were and that there was life all around us. But even reminders have a tendency to go mute, like a snooze alarm not properly set. Weird analogy, didn't really land, but that's fine. The silence was not an abrupt one, but rather a dying down, swooping steadily over us from one side to the other. The clicks and chirps from the bats stopped, the buzzing of the flying insects around us retreated, the chirping of the crickets in sections went silent. Having been accustomed to the outdoor evening antics, my friend and I both understood that, at that point, we were less alone than we had been previously. Where was the threat coming from, though, and what could it be? We both had our minds set on it being something like a coyote or possibly a mountain lion. Whatever it was, we knew that staying still was in our best interest. Long minutes passed in shared silence, broken only by our shallow breaths of expectancy as we strained our eyes in the darkness trying to pick out anything moving through the leafed canopy and ground brush. A group of crickets off to our left started to chirp again, less lively than before, and we thought that perhaps any sign of possible danger had passed. Suddenly, there was a tinge of an odd scent in the air, earthy, musky, and not at all like the pool scent that now defined me. Where was it coming from, though? Long moments passed in the darkness. To the left, the band of crickets sounded like they were trying to play their version of the national anthem. The sentiment may have been appreciated by some, but I found it to be needlessly patriotic at an odd time, much like the entirety of the script of the film Big Trouble in Little China.
What?
I know. That was I like that one, though. That was good.
I know, but
That's
it's just
shit.
none of this fits.
He's just trying to be a creative writer.
Oh, okay. I apologize,
Let
sir.
him use his creativity. It's fine. You do you, buddy. It's cool. I was just about to stand up and head back to camp while we could still find it when an odd shape seemed to detach itself from the trees before us, close to the riverbank. My heart stopped in my throat. The form was huge, almost monstrous in size, but strangely human in its movement. It cast a heavy gaze to the right and to the left before turning and beckoning to another unseen form still hiding from our shared line of sight. What was going on here? In no time, another form, smaller than the other, came out of the brush and scurried to join the larger at the edge of the stream. Jason and I were curious, though equally frightened over what we were seeing. Was this a mother and child drinking from the river? Huge hands attached to long arms scooped water from the river and brought it up to the face and rubbed it over the hair on the arms and the body. They're bathing, I thought. Whatever we had stumbled upon was bathing, both parent and child. Jason and I watched in interest as the ritual before us went on. Perverts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Perverts. Weird perverts, no doubt. At the very least. That's fine. Is this your story?
No, I did not write this story.
Likely story indeed. I know you love Big Trouble in Little China.
I haven't watched it in a long time.
The entire time, the only thought I was dwelling on was how quiet these beings were. They were like the raccoons we had observed before these two came along, their movements over the terrain absolutely silent. Eventually, the two left their place along the river and melted back into the black of the trees around us. Long minutes of uncertainty passed before the insect noises started up again in chorus, and we knew that we were safe to head back through the bramble to camp again. As quietly as we could, we did just that. The meeting, though brief, had left the two of us with little question as to the validity that there may very well be something else out there. Uncertain, unidentified, but absolutely alive and well. Now that is interesting.
I wish they told us where this was at.
Didn't he? He said he couldn't remember the exact name of the camp though, right?
I don't need the camp. I'd like the state. The state would at least help us, because some states
Narrow it down.
Yeah, have a lot of Bigfoot activity.
Let's be honest,
reports
Christian.
of Bigfoot activity.
You and I aren't figuring anything out.
No.
Even if we had all the information. We're staying in this converted garage and we're talking spooky ghost stuff and Bigfoots and cryptids and weird stuff. That's what we do.
Fascinating to stumble upon a Bigfoot, basically cleaning themselves off.
Just some light bathing action.
Either after a long day of hunting or just starting out on a long day of hunting.
Hey, why not? They got to bathe too. Can't be stinky and musky all the time.
Yeah, killing deer and dragging around their carcasses can make you dirty.
Hell yeah. And that's just what we like to hear. Anyway, what do you guys think, huh? More importantly, what do you guys think of Big Trouble in Little China? or crickets chirping the national anthem.
Big Trouble in Little China reminds me of my daughter when she was in junior high.
Or right now as an adult, she's 5 foot. She's not exactly tall by any stretch of the imagination, and that's fine. That happens, I hear. But enough about your daughter, Christian. Enough about your daughter. Let's get into this next one, huh? This next one's called We All Saw It, and it's by Take a Hike, PNW. So I guess we can probably tell where this takes place. As much as I doubt what we actually saw, I will tell you the story as it was. 20 plus years ago, I was riding in a caravan of vehicles on the I-5, and we were heading towards a softball tournament in Washington. I don't know exactly where we were. We could have left the I-5 and been on a highway, but all of a sudden, we stopped along with several other vehicles on the shoulder. Into the woods to our right was what appeared to be a Bigfoot. It was moving fairly quickly through and heading diagonally away from the highway. One of the dads who was traveling with us got out his rifle, classic, looked through the scope and said that he was not willing to shoot it because he could not confirm what he was looking at.
But he would have shot it if it was a Bigfoot.
Yeah,
and
he's like, that's definitely a Bigfoot. I'm shooting that thing. He just said that it was big and upright, which we all also witnessed. Great details, Dad, with the scope.
Thanks, Hank.
Yeah, beautiful. We stopped at a rest stop not too much further up the highway, and my teammates and I drew Bigfoot with sidewalk chalk that we had with us and took pictures to remember the incident. It was a pretty memorable experience for me, but to this day, I'm not certain what we were looking at. I'm well into my 30s now, and it's all a blur of memory. I'm certain that if I dig through my boxes of photos, I'd be able to find that picture of us, but I don't think anyone took pictures at the time that it was happening. Poor choice. Poor choice on your part. The thing about the experience is that we were not the only ones who saw it. There were several vehicles who stopped with us who are not a part of our caravan. They were also just as confused as we were at what we were looking at. So I know for sure it was not a typical wildlife encounter, nor was it an encounter with something that everyone could easily agree on. There was probably a total of 20 people who got out of their vehicles and looked at this thing running through the woods. Now that would be something to see.
Right.
That would be cool. You're far enough away to just kind of witness it. Interesting. But you're too dumb of a kid to not do anything about it.
I gotta say, I understand not always being able to get the camera, as frustrating as it is.
Mm.
Well, I didn't see a Bigfoot. I went fishing a few years ago on the Kenai, and we got on this little island in the middle of the river, and we're fishing, and a bear starts walking up, and I couldn't get to my phone in time to take a picture of it, and it was within 10 feet of me, the bear. It was a younger one, so it wasn't very scary, but...
Yeah, I know. It's easy to really kind of attack people for not taking pictures of things. But, I mean, I've had interesting experiences. Like, there's that time I've seen a couple what I think are UFOs. Don't even care about getting my phone out. Because it's either I'm driving and I'm like, what the hell is that thing out there? Or it's just something that passed by. I'm like, huh. And I know for number one, these phones, the zoom is garbage. So you're always going to get something blurry. It's not going to be definable at all. I've taken a couple of videos that I've posted in the past on our YouTube about the UFO that I saw out here in our backyard. Like, I don't know, for over the course of like a week and a half, I saw this thing probably 3 or 4 times, zigging all over the sky. Eventually made its way south and just disappeared off out there. But definitely no airplane. No idea what it was. Wasn't Starlink, wasn't a satellite of any kind that I'm aware of. But it's not like the video was like high quality evidence. It's just a light in the sky moving about. Not definable, sorry. And phones aren't always the first thing on your mind when you're seeing something strange. You're not like, ooh, time for a picture. You're just like, what the hell am I looking at?
Now, do you think this could have been a bear they were watching?
I would say it could have been if it was just walking.
Some bears do walk upright.
Yeah, but I don't think bears run upright with great quickness and agility. That's something you don't see too often.
I've seen videos of bears sitting on the side of the road waving at people. Don't underestimate a bear.
There's a vast divide between waving and running at top speed. I would know.
Would you?
I would know. In my heart of hearts, I'd be like, that's a Bigfoot right there.
Have you seen a bear out in the wild yet?
Thankfully, no. Yeah, but I've seen enough videos and photos and the whole like that I think I'd be able to identify one.
Yeah, that one was the only one I'd seen in the wild, other than the one in the front yard in Eagle River.
Oh, yeah, I guess I have technically seen one that was walking down the street in Eagle River, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And I hope to never see one again.
I hope that if I do see one, they're about the same size as the two that I've seen without their mother nearby.
Preferably without the mother. Yeah.
Now, if it's a Bigfoot, I also don't want to see, like our first story, something where I have to watch a mother and her Bigfoot child bathing, because that does seem kind of pervy.
Just a little bit.
But driving to a softball tournament and seeing one in the trees might be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That is a word that I would use for that.
And someone should have started walking toward it and seen what happened.
I think we know what would happen.
Death.
It disappeared into the woods, of course. He was running away. Subscribe, damn it.